Title: The Roots of Light. The moths swarmed my boots as I walked up our family's sprawling estate, its limestone pillars gleaming under a starless sky. My sisters stood at the arched gateway, their arms crossed, eyes narrowed. My mother barely glanced up from her tea. Of course, they'd done this, taught their disappointment into armor. Still traipsing after that fantastical nonsense asterisk, Dad croaked, sidestepping me like I might be contagious. You're back to explain what? Planting glow sticks in the ground. My jaw tightened. They'd said this to me all my life, the asterisk, fantastical nonsense, asterisk, the asterisk, ecological circus trick, asterisk, the asterisk, embarrassment. When I'd been 15, watching her brothers-in-law sip whiskey and laugh over their asterisk, game developer D asterisk son who'd finally found a asterisk normal asterisk job, asterisk, I'd responded stiffly, this isn't for you. And now, 32 years later, I'd built a seed bomb of respect where they'd sown carrion. I remember the day Dr. Voss called. My first boss, a smug entozoologist who'd weaponized my name with investors, had been gloating over my failed lab presentation. Turns out the data wasn't just mislabeled, it was stolen, asterisk, he'd said, voice dripping with faux pity. Karma's a saboteur, Dr. Hale. Lucky for you, you'll never have a career to ruins. That night our freezer in Dad's garage, stocked with those tacky world's best ribs, aprons he forced my sisters to wear, felt like a tomb. Mom's tissues lay beside my team's rejection letters, browns and blues smeared together. I took Dad's warnings most harshly. They've called me a asterisk eccentric asterisk, not a genius. If you keep this up, he never finished, so I left. Moonlight split the soil in Peru. My drenching clothes clung to the smell of humus and my colleagues, my wedding ring glinting on a swollen finger. The quinine trees I'd brought to the Huamanchaca Gamma had been dying since '09, their branches scarred by miners' picks. I'd injected them with a bioremediant algae, engineered to bind metals and produce light. A fluke asterisk subversive asterisk as Dad would have called it, and I'd killed the trials, or so I believed. Dr. Hale, we need to see the results ASAP, my tech Kim said, her palm flat on my storm-damaged contract. My assistant Maya frowned at the data panels outside my tent. I didn't answer, not yet. I haunt a bench in the city's library now, when I'm not in the dust of old labs. Tattooed girls and dads with clipboards mistake me for a janitor. I think of my sisters, Jess who blames herself for mom's breast cancer, asterisk I didn't end up like you Jess asterisk, and Liam, last year's Stanford bid rejection letter still framed beside our childhood desk. It was photography that did it. A documentary crew cornered me at a Tech's event asking how I defied the odds. I didn't asterisk defy asterisk odds, I corrected. They just didn't know how to frame them. 3 years later, they wanted the story. Home, my nieces rushed out of the open-air caf asterisk gourmand, our financials boosted. They'd been on the New York Times bestseller list for a month. Your asterisk covered in dirt asterisk Aunt Hannah, one chirped. I didn't feel it anymore. The dust of the Chale Valley asterisk where my microbes had transformed into a breathable soil, that was my perfume now. Where's Mom? Dad asked, leaning on a cane. His hair grayed, his walk belled. The boy who'd once tripped over his shoe hedging a trajectory now limped like a statesman. I hugged him, surprised by how the weight of grass stains had fused to his skin. We'll eat indoors, Mom said. Across the estate's manicured lawns lay the asterisk Chale 27-unit asterisk. My sisters hesitated. Will they bite? Jess asked. No fungi or pathogens tonight, Jay, I muttered. Weave the docks. A drone buzzed overhead, its camera reflecting the iridescence. The twins erupted into complaints. This is gaudy. I pushed open their gates. The first thing Dad saw was the orchid, towering, bell-shaped, its petals emitting a faint azure glow. It's poetry asterisk, he whispered to Mom, his device blinking with new data he'd never understand until I drew him close enough. Feel, I pressed a hand to his palm. It pulsed under my fingertips, slow as a lighthouse beam. The second night fireflies synchronized. I'd injected the algae into Coreopsis and Dahlia too, until the field near the barn hummed with gold. They laughed through tears, their dry jokes dissolving in the green haze. That evening, the linoleum dining room. We're not here to judge, my niece threatened, her cell phone trembling with a photo album of our failed soybean den. Show us the deck, the asterisk research you owed us. I did, Liam began with the reclining algal-spun tables, the floors stippled with dewdrops that twitched alive. I implored him, isn't it logical? Ecosystems react asterisk. Plants remember, Mom sniffled. Liam's eyes bulged. Then Dad opened my garage. You liar asterisk, he rasped as the frames leaned. Centuries of oak birch now birthing passion flowers that glowed like the size of Hellenistical lanterns. You made my grandson's solar farm asterisk obsolete asterisk. He flashed a video of laborers sinking a failed synthetic soil patent of his. You trashed ecotech asterisk, Jess added. Criticized asterisk this asterisk before it even. I cut her off, cry or not she'd flinched. Art's either ancestor or jester, she began. No, I stepped back. But they forget to till the soil. Before Mom could pat my shoulder, Dad stammered. You've harnessed asterisk molasses asterisk to spawn entire ecosystems, why didn't we believe you? That landed, the room shuddered. Sunrise. We drank black coffee on the wraparound deck, her youngest niece asleep in my arms, glowing fronds from the garden whispering against her eyes. No one praised me, no one needed to. They'd ridiculed my witchcraft because somewhere they feared their own smallness. I traded the title of lab genius for earthbound salvation, proof that what makes a species thrive isn't just the genes, but the story it chooses to gestate. As Dad handed back my childhood notebook, his voice cracked. This means nothing, but just in case. Nothing meant a lot tonight. The earth remembers, the earth forgives. Final draft. 999 words. Key elements include the biotech background, family's derision, the cathartic return, glowing ecosystems as proof. The tone balances fury and forgiveness. The hook begins immediately with the confrontational welcome and ends with insight about growth and legacy.